Another local Santa Fean and gallery owner for over 30 years, Linda Durham now will share with us her ongoing journey through foreclosure and how these experiences have empowered her to fight back. After 18 months of this process, Linda says, "I choose to remain optimistic and to continue to work for fairness, clarity, positive results, not just for myself, but for all who are falling victim to the foreclosure game." Linda?
Thank you. I was going to start this by saying, hello, my name is Linda and my house is in foreclosure. Then I decided not to do that. So I'm usually very comfortable speaking in public, but that's if I'm speaking about art or travel. And speaking about my personal adventure in the foreclosure and mortgage modification world is very different. So I confess I'm nervous. Still, I'm moved to share a part of my story in public because I know it's important. I think it's important for many of us, not just those going through this situation, but those who aren't aware of how many people are in this thicket. So I love my house, and I bought it in 2007. I had a gallery, and I was never underwater. I bought my house. I put all my life savings down on it. $350,000, almost 50% of the price of the house. And I didn't expect what was going to happen to me. So there's many unsettling emotions that invade my dreams and the dreams of other people in my set, and many stomachs as well. And those of us who have been dealing with the massive impersonal bank machine are nervous because we know that they're intent on their greed-driven goal to extract the equity in the homes of so many struggling homeowners. And they seem to be able to do it with seeming impunity. So the gallery was doing well, and then maybe some of you know that there was some sort of a economic downturn for many of us in the economy. And I kept the gallery running, but for about a year and a half, each month I spent more money on the gallery bills than I did in receiving income. And so I never paid myself a big salary, and when I got my only loan at 6.25%, and back at the time I had the gallery, that was fine, I could pay that. So when the gallery closed, I went home, and I had some debt, and I didn't have a job, and I thought this is a perfect time I want to renegotiate my mortgage at a lower interest rate. Everyone was getting lower interest rates. And I had been told at the closing, the original closing on my property, that, if you make your payments on time for 2 years or so, then just come back and you'll be able to renegotiate in a better way. So I tried to do that a couple of times, and I was turned down. And then I heard about the mortgage modification program. And I thought, well, this is perfect. This is perfect for me. So I called my bank, Wells Fargo, and said, I would like to participate. Well, you don't qualify because you've never been late with your mortgage payment. So you can't get into this program. So the only way to get into it is to stop paying for a couple of months. Okay, I did that. It was convenient for me at the time, and I thought, a couple of months, and then I'll get the lower interest rate, and I'll be fine, and I'll go on with my life, and I'll rebuild my business and all my new ideas. A specialist who told me to fill out a whole lot of paperwork, and then he would look at it and get back to me, and they'd see what they could do. Well, I did that. I faxed everything right from a Wells Fargo bank, and waited to hear from my specialist. He didn't call. And then when I tried to call him, I found I no longer had access to his direct line. So I got angry, and I contacted me back in the program, but I had to start over. So I started over, and then I contacted a lawyer because I knew something was wrong. Like, well, and I'm getting farther behind. So we wrote a letter, the lawyer and I, and sent it, return receipt requested. I still have the receipt. It got returned, but we never got a response. And I went through the program again, and then a few months later, between March, knock on my door one evening, and the gentleman said, "Are you Linda?" I said, "Yes, who are you?" He said, "I'm a process server." And he turned and left, and I had some papers, and they were foreclosing on my house. I wasn't underwater at all. So I had to get a lawyer, and I did. And so I went through the process about 5 times. And as I got more and more concerned, and they had done, contact the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. Okay, I did that. Contact your congressman. Okay, I did that. The office was very nice. They filed some sort of an inquiry or maybe even a complaint to Wells Fargo. And then I got put into the super special congressional complaint mortgage modification program. A lawyer, a monthly amount, and then I discovered Wells Fargo didn't own my note, that they had sold it to U.S. Bank, and U.S. Bank had sold it to someone else. So I guess in that year or over a year, all those negotiations, they wouldn't have been able to give me a new note. They weren't in a position to negotiate. So, and it was sponsored by We Are People Here. And there I met with 8 or 9 individuals, and we sat around and told our tales, and we began to meet, and I began to get a lot of information, and you'll hear some of it, and you've already heard some of it. And I got really strong, and I realized, although I might be the only one who realizes this so strongly, I'm not going to lose my house. I'm going to keep... And I'm going to fight the banking behemoths, and I'm going to work with this group that has given me plenty of courage and the intention, my optimism and my integrity and my rights, and keep my house. And I will not be a victim, and I'm not ashamed. Thanks.